We are the wind in the sails of your business. We are your compass. Chart your course towards your targets. Africa Business Radio. Towards a profitable Africa.
They are 1.8 billion globally. They will make 75% of workforce by 2025. They will outspace earnings of baby boomers in less than 10 years. Smartphones and tablets are the argument settlers and fact checkers for every conversation. Get more insight on African millennials on Africa Business Radio. Towards a profitable Africa.
That's cool on the beat.
I mean, I want to ask a question. If you're going to put some fraction to the 5th month out of 12, what would that be? About half, right? So that means you're about halfway into 2021. I thought you said Happy New Year. When was that? About 2 minutes ago. With the epileptic, what's it called? Trip and falls. No, that's tautology. Well, with the trip and falls of going out and coming in, vaccine and no vaccine. Can we do this? Can we not do that? So 5 months into the year already. And I'm sure, a whole lot of people are getting things done. As they planned, hopefully. And of course, some other people are still hoping that the things that they've planned will be done. I believe so much that, one thing is going to give way, the challenge or you. So let's just keep doing what we're doing. It's the African Millennial Radio Show on Africa Business Radio, and it's a very, very wonderful Wednesday afternoon. In the studio once again, yet again. And like I've always said, I always have interesting guests on the show, and one of the favorite parts of this show so far is when I get to introduce the guest or to read out their bio. So I think my guest for today, right? No. First of all, how are we doing, guys? Guys in Mali, guys in the UK, guys in Ghana, guys in South Africa. What's Joe Box saying this afternoon? How's Cape Town? How is Lagos, my people? How's everything going? How are my folks in Abuja? Senegal. What other country? Mauritius. I'm coming to your country very soon, guys. Right, how are we doing though? Hope you guys are trying to get things done. Hope the week has started really good. Monday, Tuesday, and then it's Wednesday. Wednesday afternoon, 2 p.m. for that matter. I hope, we're staying true to what we want to achieve for ourselves. Anywho, I think I was talking to myself at that point because I'm trying to get things done. Alright, guys, straight to my guest. I think the first time I met him was at the Covenant University the conference, right, where he was one of the guests. And I remember then I actually volunteered to help Covenant University to fix a couple of their visuals for the conference. And so they sent the pictures and the names. So as I was checking everybody, I was going to check Google. Okay, who's this person? Who's that person? And everything like that. And I saw Mofe Ade. I was like, oh, interesting. And then I checked his brother. Oh, very interesting creative, actually. So let me now, read what he is about first. Then, of course, from the conversations, we'll know more about who he really is. So Mofe Ade is a brand strategist and designer with over 7 years of experience in creating identities, platforms, and experiences that connect African brands with their audiences. While he does this with his branding company called Crevtus, is that it?
Perfect.
Crevtus Studios. It's so perfect, like I was the first person to get it. Those people mention it very weird ways.
You cannot imagine a different pronunciation.
Yeah, so Crevtus. I got it. Crevtus Studios for multinational companies, SMEs, and personal brands. No. While he does this with his branding company, Crevtus Studios, for multinational companies, SMEs, and personal brands, he's also on a mission of impacting 10 million African brands and thus teaches thousands of people online via online workshops, sessions, and I don't understand how you pronounce this, co-convenes.
Co-convenes.
Okay, and he co-convenes.
Yeah.
CultivARTe. I missed that actually. So it's CultivARTe.
Yes.
So it's CultivARTe, but then with an E. Yeah, so that's CultivARTe. A one-day conference in Lagos, building future African innovators. He has also authored 2 books, the latest being about personal branding, which had over 1,000 downloads in the first week of release. I apologize for not reading that bio so well. I feel somehow, but I'd like to take it again if you don't mind. Can I do that again? Now that I know how to pronounce the words. Now, Mofe Ade is a brand strategist and designer with over 7 years of experience in creating identities, platforms, experiences that connect African brands with their audiences, which he does with his branding company called Crevtus Studios for multinational companies, SMEs, and personal brands. He's also on a mission of impacting 10 million African brands and thus teaches thousands of people online via online workshop sessions and co-convenes CultivARTe, a one-day conference in Lagos, building future African innovators. He has also authored 2 books, the latest being about personal branding, which had over 1,000 downloads in the first week of release. That shows that over 1,000 people were ready to learn immediately the book came out. Mofe Ade, what's happening now?
I'm doing fine, Tommy. Thank you for having me today.
I mean, I'm very, very happy. I feel very honored to have you in the studio. I think it was supposed to be here earlier, but then he had a couple of engagements going, and I was like, okay, he's created time, for me. So I feel very, very honored to have you. Even Michael, the producer, and Michael, the community manager, we both feel good to have you in the studio.
Thank you for having me.
What's happening? How's work been?
Work has been awesome, challenging, beautiful.
What's 2021 like?
Fast
so
paced.
far? I think so.
Yeah, everything we wanted to do in the past 2 years, everybody's like putting it in a very small timeline. So very fast paced. I don't know. It's like everything has been in the cooler, and it's like, oh, it's time for lunch now.
let's eat the jollof.
One time.
Can imagine. So there's always this thought I've always had, and I've always just wished to have it with very honest people.
Okay.
Even with me, sometimes when I'm having conversations about millennials, I hear a lot of HR consultants say so many things. I'm like, I'm not sure these people are honest with their conversation. But then the 2 HR, we had about 3 HR consultants, in the studio to talk about it, and those conversations they blew me off, you get, because those guys were just honest, blatant, and they just went. But I see a whole lot of people just mixing everything young and fixing them to the millennial generation. Yeah. Meanwhile, they are 38 years old. I didn't know that they are actually the older millennials. They still belong to that bracket. I won't be shocked if some of them have called themselves boomers before.
Don't let one of my colleagues hear you say that.
Why? Well, he's a millennial. He's a millennial. Or she is a millennial. I would say check Wikipedia. See where you belong. You're a hybrid, yes, but then you're a millennial. So I've seen it, and then so what I do is sometimes when there's a topic, hovering and everything, I just go check different countries' conversation on them, right? So I think the first time I started checking about GenZ was 2017, thereabouts, and I was like, okay, GenZ. These are the people have not even fully understood what millennials are. They don't understand GenZ, and I'm happy that so many more organizations and bodies have now started talking about, especially in this context. I'm like, okay, I think it's time to have this conversation, about these people. We had one though. Jay Trafford on Instagram and Onye Obienu came to have a conversation. They had a report on GenZ, actually.
What was it like?
I'm trying to remember the name of the agency. I'll remember for the end of the show.
Okay.
So they had a report just to talk about their behavioral patterns. Really good report. Right. Before the show is over, I'll get started and then I'll probably talk about it. You can check it out. Yeah. It's a very beautiful report. So they talked about it then, but we just really more or less scratched the surface. But this time around, I want us to talk about, the innovation culture in Africa from the angle. Okay. And I think now, looking at the last decade, what changes have you observed, first of all, in the use of tech for brand recognition? Let's just come from that first. So we can, maybe if you understand the changes that have been happening, then maybe you can just ease into these people.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, so the past decade, that's like 10 years, technology has evolved in many ways, and brands have tried to tap into that evolution of different technologies. I think one that I really, really like, and one that I see that people use a lot, is personalized marketing.
Right.
So before, ads used to be just thrown in people's faces at random. You could see a 25-year-old man, and you open your app and you start seeing makeup for probably like Zara, and you're like, okay, just another ad in my face. But over the past decade, we can see tailored ads. You can see, you go to, let's say, an e-commerce website to get a new ad, maybe the black version of what you're wearing right now.
Right.
And you're like, okay, let me just go and do that thing. You leave it in your cart, and before you know, you come on Instagram and start seeing sponsored posts of the ads. And you're like, wow, okay, what's happening? Because now it's personalized. And the next thing you know, you're on another app and you say, oh, you can get this ad in yellow, orange, red, and all. So personalized marketing is one beautiful way that technology has evolved, which helps brands to be able to put their product, their services, and their offerings in a smart way in front of those that need it. So I really like that. If you want to go all the way, you also see the use of VR and an AR as well, augmented reality, something that's been a buzzword in the past few years. But now we see brands, even like African brands, using it in a very innovative way. I think last few, I think 2 or 3 days ago, I was with a friend and they were showing me one new collection I was working on. I'm trying to use AR to like test on new clothes and different layers of clothes for people, so they can get like an immersed experience before even entering the brick and mortar store. So we can spend hours here talking about how technology has evolved, but I think let's just speak on those two. And all. Have you had any experience with AR, VR?
Yeah, I have. I think well, you're going face now. But I didn't fall. I knew I was in the I held myself together, and then people said I was boring. When I was doing it.
I would have loved to have seen that.
I just stood. It was scary.
Yeah.
Like a dinosaur came on my face. Not like it came through my face.
And you're like, but you didn't shake. Why?
I didn't shake.
Are you trying to form that guy?
Yes, I was trying to form that guy intentionally because everybody said I was boring. Yeah, well, of course I have.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, so that's good. I think those two places are interesting things, and personally, I want to see how I can use it in the market as well, especially AR, and see what we can.
I can even imagine. Let me just throw this into the air. You get a brief, to do the brand work of this company, and then you're also going to do the environmental branding. So you create AI, doing your presentation to the board members. You wear the things on their faces and tell them to walk into their new offices.
Awesome,
money,
awesome.
You're paying me for that, Abby.
Let's talk after the show.
And I could actually just, as you're saying it now, it just came to me that that could be something that could be happening at some point.
Like give these people the bag.
Yeah, exactly. No, just come on. This is just the man with the white beard. Just saying, just pay them. Have you been paid? Right. So now I like that actually, right? And I can see that there's been a change from signboards and TVs and everything. Well, maybe Premier League because people still want to watch Premier League, so they still put some ads. But then there's a whole lot of work that has been done into personalized marketing, like you said. And I'm just going to throw a little bit of jab on lawyers. I thought they said that they shouldn't do advertising, but then they do SEOs. Because I know what he said.
No, I didn't get that.
My producer heard because he's a lawyer. Lawyers are not supposed to do advertising.
Why?
I thought it's a classified. You're not supposed to do big why are you supposed to announce your chamber on a billboard?
No.
But then you do SEO. All right.
I ever saw this guy abroad. This is a lawyer. Does like TikToks.
I thought it was a classified.
He's not selling the brand, guy. This
Oh.
there, come on.
Okay, so
different routes to the market.
Okay, now second to all the thing though, we noticed the rise of this interesting new demographic that I talked about earlier. Being a bit more vocal than the millennial generation. The millennial generation still had the canes that they had on their butts going up. So it's to caution them to say anything out loud. But those ones will talk, man. Now, how do you think this demographic will amplify the voice of good things from Africa?
I think we've been seeing like snippets of how they're going to do that. I want to assume that a very high percentage, probably like 80 to 90% of them are on their smartphone every time. In fact, if you check it, members of Generation Z were born into the digital age, and they've been with devices all their lives: laptops, TVs, tablets, and phones. So they have easy access to the internet. Now, what this means that they can easily easily vocalize their inner thoughts. They can easily vocalize what they do, what they experience, what they want as well. Now, in the past year, we saw how it was used for social change, for governmental reforms and all. But at the same time, it can also be used to spread the good news about what's happening in Africa. I'm sure everyone that is listening right now, even at one point, you must have seen one time that one tweet just went viral. You just see somebody maybe painting upside down, or you see somebody that can do something awesome and be like, wow. And you see somebody under the comments that, how do you people discover this kind of talent? And all. So, because this access is granted to everyone, we see that we can see the beauty in it. So, I believe them being having that digital head start over millennials is going to mean that they will be able to showcase anything. So I think that's a beautiful thing, that we can only imagine the potential in showing the beauty of Africa as a whole.
I mean, that's really, really good. And I think there might be just a bit of a reduced imposter syndrome. So.
True.
Because, I mean, if they had the head start with technology, they've always been sharing things. They'll have shared it before they started having imposter syndrome. We would think twice.
Yeah, but you can also look at the flip side as well. I think in where everybody is trying to put out the good side, sometimes some might feel like discouraged, or maybe they're not doing good enough. But at that same time, they know that if they decide today that, okay, I want to put this side of my skill or my talent out there, it's going to get accepted, or it's going to inspire somebody else. So
I just realized, imposter syndrome or impostor syndrome? I don't know. Who's the grammarian in the house? I think I'm just too African for these things, and it's not good. I should be able to do this. It just occurred to me that, what did I just say? Right. Now, I need to go full, no holds barred now. Let's say it as it is. I understand radio, but, avoid language. On how the innovative potential of Gen Z can influence, the economic growth of Africa. Those guys have stuff in there.
Yeah.
So how do you just think?
I think, firstly, we need to look at the way Africa is perceived by those that are not Africans, or those that don't live in Africa, or even Africans that have not been to Africa. I'm sure you've seen many memes about people saying like, you have lights in Africa. Like, I saw one very funny cartoon where the guy was like, they see Africans like in a hut with your laptop, then you have like lions and elephants like going around you. So the first part is that
was this guy, Shutterbug. I think it was when I shared it. Or someone.
I can't remember the name. So the perception of Africa is very important, because if you want somebody that, let's say, is in China or North America to come and invest in Africa, and probably, I don't know what's going on in that country. Our Generation Z, because of access to technology and their creativity, we see a lot of influencers. We see a lot of travel influencers, travel guides and all. In fact, just this morning I was watching one from a YouTuber, a very good guy, Tayo Aino. He was documenting his trip in Tanzania, the difficulties he faced in Ethiopia and all.
And the tortoise biting him.
Yeah, the tortoise biting him. I sincerely hope he does not become a turtle ninja. So
that was a good one.
Yeah, so imagine someone just sitting down that does not see himself going to that country, you understand? You can see the beauty of that country, and from there, you understand, that's his videos has like hundreds of thousands of views from all over the world. So that's one aspect where if focus it can help Africa like positively and all. If you also look at the way brands also the way brands are, you also notice that Generation Z need more authentic, they need a brand that is authentic. So you cannot come and, let's say there's a social discussion being about a particular topic and you just try to ignore it. No, they will come for you. You understand? So those are different aspects that
so you can do a whole lot of checks and balances to know, okay, it has to be quality or not.
Yes.
Right. And of course, in growing the economy of Africa, we'll just take what you said and just put it in different other aspects, Even in they say the oil is drying up now and the tech is going up.
Yes,
yes, so, even in that, we can actually have, interesting things happening from Africa. Talent,
if you look at the acquisitions that are happening right now in fintech.
And I'm scared though, because the money goes back outside Africa.
But we're taking a
not scared, concerned.
Concern, right?
Yeah.
Global money, let's call it global money. We're taking to the global cake now. It's no more national cake.
That's tweetable. Alright guys, let's have a very short break and then we'll be back for more with Mofe Ade.
We are the wind in the sails of your business. We are your compass. Chart your course towards your targets. Africa Business Radio. Towards a profitable Africa.
Billion globally. They will make 75% of workforce by 2025. They will outspace earnings of baby boomers in less than 10 years. Smartphones and tablets are the argument settlers and fact checkers for every conversation. Get more insights on African millennials on Africa Business Radio. Towards a profitable Africa.
That's cool on the beat.
I'm really, really enjoying this conversation myself, and during the break I was just thinking of a couple of things. So the perception of Africa, why so many consonants in that? Maybe pre-colonial era we were good, right? The Benin Kingdom, I even heard that
you heard
that one of the strongest walls surrounding a city globally was the Benin Kingdom city. Yeah. The walls, that it took a whole lot for that thing to be brought down. Was it true, was stronger than that of China's?
It wasn't stronger, but it was one of the best in the world.
Best in the world at the time. So we had our things. I even heard that the Benin Kingdom had street lights, even though they were lamps with fire.
Wow.
So they had a measure of advancements going on. Even Yorubas even had in CPD, writing, before. So the whites or the Western guys came around and then did all the things, gun in the air, bush, worship the one true God, things like that, and then brought the kingdom of England to this space, and then they must have perceptions of Africa, just moving from one level to another, and then post-colonial, independence and everything. And then I think the latest, or the almost latest that we can see is Africa is just one place that nothing happens. Now, the internet has now opened us to interesting things.
That's
and
true.
then we can now see that, there are actually things happening in Africa, even though some people don't want to agree with it. And then there's now this thing also with the Black Americans with Africans and how we see each other.
Yeah.
I don't know where that conversation is going to go, but then I'm just waiting. Right now, the Gen Z in Africa right now, they are more vocal, right? They express their thought. Now, we just talked about how innovative they can be and how the world, is beginning to look at things that they are doing and, trying to participate and partner, with it. And then we ended with that thing. I love it. It's not more national cake, man. It's global cake, Now, how do you think the Gen Z can actually influence the perception of Africa today, whatsoever the perception is, from your point of view?
I think the first one, which is very important, is transparency.
Right.
So the older generation sometimes gets that rap that these people, they are not like us. Their dealings might not be as straightforward as the other parts of the world, which is why some businessmen might run away from the country and all. But right now, you see that with the advent of social media, it's very, very hard for you to do that. You understand? So everybody's being accountable for every action that they take. So if this trend or this new wave of this new school of thought starts now, and it progresses, enters the next generation, or what they call the alpha gen or something like that, and it keeps on going.
After Gen Z is alpha gen.
Yeah, or gen alpha, something like that. I know alpha is.
I just learned something. Alpha. What are they alpha? You know?
I don't know. I have no idea. Maybe.
Okay, I'm beginning to sound like a boomer now talking about me. It's like, what are they doing?
So if that school of thoughts keeps on going, and that would be good for everybody, because I think more deals comes in and more good things. That's one. Then two, also the ability, the purchasing power of Africans is also very important. You don't want a businessman, one that wants to invest in Africa, asking that will people buy my product. But when you are seeing awesome pictures of people like in designer wares, you're seeing people. I saw a video of a Tesla in Lagos, like the guy entering the filling station.
Those dudes.
Trying to wind the person to fill up the gas tank. Yeah. So like, okay, things are happening there. So that changes the perception. Like, okay, so things are happening here right now. Three, when you see people, Africans competing on global scale, there are awesome Africans here that do things that go viral over there. So things like that helps the perception generally and all.
Now, if you're going to talk about the brand Africa, you know, as a brand consultant right now, and then now see what these people are like, the current, why am I saying these people? Not like they're far, all my people, you know, are like, do you think that they would, so you want to do a rebrand for a company right now?
Okay.
Right. Whatever it is you have to do. So the rebrand for Africa, right? What is one interesting thing? I'll just pick entertainment.
Okay.
Right. Do you think entertainment can be a way that these people can actually just, you know, do some rebrand work for Africa?
What are these people?
Sorry, Gen Z. I'm sorry, guys.
So,
Gen Z. My people.
My people.
My people.
Why
Gen
don't
Z.
claim we are not?
I know, I know, but then my people. Trust me, man. You know, quick one. Yeah, I was having a conversation with Jimmy Jad, and he said that the people, the age bracket that he tries to pull around himself most of the time, are people between maybe 19 and 24. In fact, 17 and like 23 thereabouts. He said because those people are the custodians of time right now, and it is just best for you to respect time, aka respect them. So listen to them. No wonder it's still relevant 4 decades even into the. You understand? Yeah. So how do you think, you know, this? Especially entertainment.
Okay. So if you pick entertainment, let's pick the style of music. You can agree with me that Afrobeat has evolved based on what it was in like the early 2000s. I know Afrobeat is now being used by like international artists, the Drakes, Swalees, and the big artists. And why? Because they see that, okay, good sounds coming from Africa, you understand? And people that I remember when I was growing up, I used to have some set of friends in school that time. They never listened to Nigerian music, the fresh kids. I don't know. So how you listen to? You listen to Bass Blues, Biz Bass. No. But now open those people's playlists. You're seeing Burna Boy. You're seeing all of them. And pick Rema, for instance. Look at his sound. His sound is a perfect infusion of African elements, trap, you understand, and different things. So and obviously the music is being heard worldwide. So that gives me something. Okay, on a normal day, why would you imagine like an A-list artist, global artist, collaborating with a Nigerian artist? Because if they do not see something in this market, in this continent, that they can relate to, and how they can merge both markets, that collaboration will not take place. Look, take for instance Beyonce's album, The Lion King Project. Imagine the amount you saw, the videos, the music, the reception, everything was awesome. So you see that, and a key part of those people are the Generation Z. They are the youthful art burst, and everything is just awesome. Beyond to look at the meme culture? Do you want to look at comedy? Do you want to look at movies? Do you want to look at how comedy has been taken off the stage to Instagram and how they are at the forefront of that? How one 18-year-old guy can rack 1 million followers in a year, and of course that goes global and all. So
Korodu boys,
look at that.
You know what, guys? Mofe has to be in the studio again on Friday. What do we have to do? Should we send in dispatches from
Tesla will be fine.
Tesla?
Yeah,
Okay.
Tesla will be fine.
I mean, are we advertising for Tesla right now? So Elon Musk can one day be on the show. My producer, Elon Musk, in the studio. He has to pay.
In Bitcoin?
in Doge.
In Doge.
Is it Doge or Doge? Or Dog? Because when I check dog memes, and I follow this account backed on Instagram, and then they've always used, DOGE says. So I used to say Dog says Dog. Then I'm hearing Doge now. What does Elon Musk call it?
I don't know, but I want to go with Doge.
Doge. Okay.
Yeah.
Doge.
I think that'll be safer.
Doge. Call it Dog. Doge. Alright, guys. Thank you very much for being on the show. Mofe is going to be in the studio again on Friday because we have a whole lot more conversation to have with the Gen Zs on Gen Z's matter. Right, and don't forget to go on africabusinessradio.com to listen to past editions. And then right about now, right after the show, this is going to be on Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcast, and Google Podcast also. Of course, listen to it, share a lot, share it very well, share it via the platforms, don't share it locally. Share the right platforms, and then have a wonderful afternoon, and don't forget to please get back to work. Your year has to really make a whole lot of sense. Well done, guys. Have a wonderful time.
They are 1.8 billion globally. They will make 75% of workforce by 2025. They will outspace earnings of baby boomers in less than 10 years. Smartphones and tablets are the argument settlers and fact checkers for every conversation. Get more insight on African millennials on Africa Business Radio towards a profitable Africa.
We are the wind in the sails of your business. We are your compass. Chart your course towards your targets. Africa Business Radio. Towards a profitable Africa.